Thanks for joining us for KSAT News at 9, streaming from right here in the KSAT 12 newsroom. I'm Myra Arthur. It will be a first of its kind in the state of Texas, creating a domestic violence drug court in Bexar County. A local judge has been pushing for it since last year. First-time offenders with drugs or alcohol mentioned in their arrest could be recommended into the court-supervised drug treatment program. It would be structured a lot like other specialty drug courts already in place. We first told you about the proposed program last summer. The problem, it still needs funding to move forward in full force. Tiffany Huertas with a new proposal in the hopes of getting this program up and running.
Over 10,000 domestic violence cases were on Judge Rosie Speedlin-Gonzalez's docket alone last year. That's why she's hoping the domestic violence drug court program will move forward.
All of these specialty courts in the county and across the state and across the country have to every year go looking for monies to keep the courts up and running.
Initially, she aimed for $1 million for the 2-year pilot program. But she says after meeting with several people in the community and shaving down the proposal, she is now aiming for a total of $300,000. Speedlin-Gonzalez says the cut in funds will only limit the number of participants in the program.
Our biggest obstacle has been finding funding for violent offenders. Because in our court, everyone that comes to the door is categorized as a violent offender because it's a domestic violence court. And so the monies for violent offenders are very limited.
The drug court would offer a new avenue to deal with some of these cases.
You can either go the traditional way, which could include time. The mandatory sanction here would be 1 year at the Bexar County Jail and up to a $4,000 fine. Or if you want to work with us, we can work on getting you released. Let's get you into treatment. Let's get you with your trauma therapist. Let's get you set up for services.
Speedlin-Gonzalez says most of the defendants in domestic violence cases were under the influence of drugs or alcohol. That's why she believes this program would be beneficial.
If we look at the individual and we look at their individual history, we're going to find that many of the people that are coming through this court are themselves have been victims at some point in their lives. They've been traumatized. The substance came into their life, the substance abuse as a way of coping and self-medicating.
The $300,000 would pay for several things, including drug treatment, law enforcement, probation, and trauma-informed counseling. She wants to start the program with 10 participants. Judge Speedlin-Gonzalez says she is also looking for defendants with children.
One of those ways that we can look at it is how can we help the parent of this child or the spouse of the abused change their behavior so it doesn't continue to bleed over to victimize the victim over and over again and to reinforce the cycle of abuse in children.
She says they will be looking at grant applications once they open in April.
So far, Bexar County has provided $100,000. Speedlin-Gonzalez says even if they don't reach their $300,000 goal, the court will start the program just with fewer participants. Now, a tentative court launch is scheduled for late February to early March. Myra?